MFA is good, but it's not good enough. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to this session. Today, I will walk you through the risk of MFA bypass and how to take a holistic approach to mitigate them effectively. I am Jerry Xu, Cybersecurity Strategist at Proofpoint for Asia Pacific and Japan. In this session, I will provide an overview of multi-factor authentication, account takeover attacks, and the common techniques used by attackers to bypass MFA. Most importantly, I will share practical strategies to reduce these risks, enhance MFA defense, and strengthen your overall protection against account takeover attacks. For those who may not be familiar with Proofpoint, let me give you a quick introduction. Proofpoint is a recognized leader in human-centric cybersecurity, offering the modern cybersecurity solutions with comprehensive and adaptive approach to protect your organization's most valuable assets and the biggest risk, your people. Trusted by 85 of the Fortune 100 organizations, Proofpoint empowers business to stay ahead of evolving cyber threats. Our human-centric platform evolves with your needs, effectively stopping human-targeted attacks, safeguarding critical data, and enhancing user resilience. We strengthen your overall security posture, reduce the risk of breaches, and help ensure that your people are not just protected, but also more aware and prepared to defend against sophisticated cyber threats. Multi-factor authentication has become a common part of our digital lives today. You probably use it to sign into your email, work VPN, or online banking. MFA is a security measure that requires users to provide two or more forms of identification before granting access. MFA adds an extra layer of protection beyond just passwords, helping defend against threats like phishing and credential stealing. In today's digital world, MFA is crucial for securing online accounts and sensitive data. It offers protection by combining multiple factors like OTP, biometrics, or security tokens. It ensures that even if a password is compromised, attackers still cannot access the account without meeting the secondary authentication requirements. MFA improves security by requiring two or more verification factors. There are many different types of MFA factors. For example, the knowledge factor, something you know like a password. The possession factor, something you have like OTP received by SMS or from the app or physical token. The inherence factor, something you are, such as biometrics data like fingerprints. Location-based factors, somewhere you are, like your current location or your network. And the behavior-based factor, something you do, like typing speed, usage pattern, or login habits. By combining these factors, MFA significantly strengthens authentication and protects against unauthorized access. In many organizations, especially those use cloud platform, MFA is mainly deployed as a defense mechanism against account takeover attacks, providing an additional layer of protection to secure user accounts. However, account takeover attacks remain a significant threat. These attacks occur when an attacker gains unauthorized access to a user's account, often through compromised credentials. Once inside, the attacker can steal sensitive data, manipulate systems, or use the compromised account to launch further attacks. The reality is, the scale of the account takeover is staggering. According to Proofpoint threat research, almost everyone, 99% organizations, are regularly targeted for account takeover attack. It's demonstrating how widespread this threat is. It's clear that MFA is an important line of defense. But is MFA effective enough? According to Proofpoint's 2024 State of the Fish report, 89% of security professionals see MFA as complete protection. But is that really the case? Or is there a gap between the perception or reality? Let's check some real incidents happened around us. Capita in 2023. Attackers used a phishing email with a malicious zip file and a tool called Mimikatz to bypass MFA and steal Microsoft 365 credentials, disabling employees' access and exposing sensitive internal, customer, and supplier data. The breach cost Capita over $26 million in damage. Another famous one, Colonial Pipeline. In 2021, a phishing email with malware bypassed MFA and compromised a VPN account. This led to privilege escalation and lateral movement, resulting in a ransomware attack that disrupted 45% of East Coast fuel supply in the US. Several high-profile organizations, including Cisco Talos, Microsoft, and Uber, have been breached by attackers using the MFA fatigue technique. In 2022, Uber experienced a breach where attackers bombarded an employee with MFA push notification for 1 hour. After that, the attacker impersonated the IT help desk, convincing the employee to approve the MFA request to resolve the issue. This compromised the employee's account and also granted VPN access, allowing attackers to scan Uber's network and discover administrative credentials stored in the shared resource. With this access, they infiltrated Uber's multiple platforms and gained domain admin control. MFA is a crucial security layer, but attackers have developed ways to bypass it. Phishing attack remains a major threat. It has evolved beyond basic scam emails. Today, with generative AI, attackers create highly convincing messages and fake login pages that mimic legitimate sites. When users unknowingly enter their credentials and MFA codes, the attacker captures them in real time and gains full access. Another method is MFA fatigue, which I mentioned before, where attackers flood a victim's device with endless MFA push notification. Frustrated or distracted, user may just approve a request to stop the spam, unknowingly grant access to the attacker. Social engineering can be used together with phishing, also often target IT help desks. Attackers impersonate real user, tricking support team into resetting password or disable MFA. This works surprisingly well because help desk staff are trained to assist quickly, and verification processes are not always strong enough. SIM swapping is another serious threat. Attackers convince mobile carriers to transfer a victim's phone number to a SIM card in their control. Once that happens, any SMS-based MFA code is sent directly to the attacker. Then there is session hijacking. After logging in with MFA, the system normally generates a session token to keep the user authenticated. If an attacker steals this token, whether through malware or a man-in-the-middle attack, they can access an account without needing the password or MFA again. Another advanced technique is adversary in the middle, AITM attack, one of the most sophisticated MFA bypass techniques. The attackers use tools like EvilJinx to intercept login attempts. When a user enters their credentials on the fake but convincing login page, The attacker captures everything including the MFA code and forwards the request to the real server. The user believes they've logged in successfully, but the attacker now has the session token, allowing them to bypass MFA entirely. These are some of the common techniques used by attackers to bypass MFA. But of course, they are not the only ones. Attackers often combine multiple techniques in a single attack or continuously search for new methods or new vulnerabilities to bypass MFA, steal credentials, and take over accounts. Threat tactics are constantly evolving, and MFA alone is not foolproof anymore. Proofpoint blocks over 1 million MFA bypass phishing attacks every month. I'd like to highlight 2 recent MFA bypass attacks that were successfully blocked by Proofpoint. Cybercriminals are getting smarter, using trusted digital channels to launch attacks. A rising threat is e-signature phishing, where attackers impersonate brands like DocuSign or Adobe Sign to steal credentials. They use the adversary in the middle attack to bypass MFA and hijack session cookies for deeper access. To evade detection, they also combine with geofencing technique, limiting phishing sites to specific locations. In one recent case, an attacker targeted a global energy company's executive, bypassing traditional email security and Microsoft defenses. Proofpoint's AI machine learning behavior analysis detected unusual activities, like a newly registered sender domain, while our URL sandboxing uncovered hidden attack chains and overcome geofencing to reveal the full threat. Another campaign was implemented by using financial institute Capital One's brand, sending over 130,000 phishing emails to trick users into revealing their login credentials. This email used urgent transaction alerts and payment notification to create panic and drive quick action. The attackers cleverly use trusted Google URLs to redirect victims to fake Capital One login pages. After user enters their credentials and SMS verification codes, the attackers stole their access and bypassed MFA. Proofpoint's AI-powered detection engine spotted several warning signs during the email scanning, such as attacker hide phishing sites using Google links. Emails came from unknown domains with no history. Lookalike domain mimicked Capital One and also using urgency to trick users. These cases highlight the need for advanced detection beyond basic email security. Equally important is security awareness training, empowering users to recognize and avoid these evolving threats. Account takeover is a growing threat. There is no single solution that can fully eliminate the risks. Proofpoint blocks over 1 million FMA bypass phishing attacks every month. However, nearly 90% of IT professionals still believe that MFA alone is enough to prevent account takeover. This false sense of security can result in data loss, manipulation of third-party applications, and large-scale threats like business email compromise and ransomware attacks. Threat actors don't just stop at stealing one account. They often use compromised identity as a stepping stone to launch further attacks, making detection much harder. A trusted, legitimate account can be weaponized to distribute phishing emails, manipulate financial transactions, or gain deeper access to an organization's system. And the shocking reality is, 85% of the accounts that were taken over had MFA enabled. So how do we defend against these evolving threats? MFA alone isn't enough anymore. We need a multi-layered approach. Pre-takeover, we shall identify and eliminate vulnerability before an attack happens. Detecting misconfigured admin accounts, exposed privilege credentials, or service accounts that could be exploited. During takeover, we shall accelerate threat investigations by correlating suspicious activities across email and cloud environments. You may consider to use deception techniques to detect and disrupt privilege escalation and lateral movement attempts. Post-takeover, if an attacker gains access, we need to prepare to remediate BEC attempts, unauthorized email sending, third-party application manipulation, and data exfiltration, minimizing the impact and preventing further damage. Account takeover is not just an isolated event. It's a gateway for more advanced cyber threats. That's why organizations must go beyond the MFA and adopt proactive identity threat defense strategy to protect their users, data, and systems. Let's zoom in a bit more to discuss how effective account takeover defense shall work. It relies on automation across 3 stages: detect, investigate, and respond. All of them are important to have the successful defense against account takeovers. First, we need to detect the compromise early. This process includes detecting account compromises and any malicious activity that follow. It shall utilize AI, machine learning, behavior analysis, and threat intelligence to identify the threat effectively. It's essential to understand whose account was compromised, how it happened, and what the attacker did next, any malicious configuration changes, and any other suspicious behavior. Next, we need to investigate and fully understand the scope of the attack. This means looking into how the attacker gained access to the account and checking for any malicious changes to your systems to understand the scope of the breach. Finally, the most crucial step is to respond quickly. We need to remove the attackers, restore any maliciously modified settings, such as mailbox rules and MFA configurations, and revoke access from any compromised third-party applications. Additionally, isolating malicious files helps limit further damage. Analyzing the attacker's actions, such as the email they read, sent, or deleted, allows for better detection and prevention of additional threats. By adopting this comprehensive approach across detection, investigation, and response, we can significantly reduce the impact of account takeover attacks and protect organizations' critical assets. MFA is essential for security protection, but it's not a silver bullet. Attackers are constantly finding ways around it, making account takeovers a serious and ongoing threat. That doesn't mean we should abandon MFA. We need to strengthen it as part of a layered defense. Focus on defense in-depth strategy, where you shall use multiple layers of protection to make attacks harder at every stage, such as strengthen endpoint security with EDR tools, defend against phishing with advanced email security, and adopt phishing-resistant MFA like FIDO toolkits or biometrics. Use account takeover protection to spot account compromise early. Educate users with security awareness training to recognize and defend against different types of attacks. Ensure you always have an incident response plan in place. We need to identify and fix vulnerabilities before an attack, detect and disrupt threats during a takeover, and quickly remediate any breaches to minimize damage after an attack. These steps and layered protection will help protect your organization from evolving threats and reduce risk effectively. Cybersecurity is not about hoping for the best, it's about being prepared. We've covered a lot today, If you'd like to learn more, scan the QR codes to visit our website, where you will find valuable resources on account takeover protection, MA bypass prevention, and many human-centric security solutions. Explore our latest reports, videos, and blog articles to stay informed and strengthen your security strategies. Once again, thank you so much for joining this session. If you'd like to continue the conversation or learn more about our human-centric security, protect people, and defend data, visit our Cybersec booth at C225. We'd love to chat with you. See you there!